Welcome back to the Beautiful Chaos podcast. We're doing a deep dive today into a future that's already um, knocking on our door, the rise of a non-code society. It might sound a little paradoxical, but to really understand where we're going, we first need to grasp just how deeply our world relies on code right now.
Yeah, it's like an invisible infrastructure, isn't it?
Totally.
I mean,
Uh,
most people don't give it a second thought, but from the moment you wake up to the time you go to sleep, code is running the show behind the scenes.
Exactly. I was just thinking about that this morning, like just my morning routine. My alarm is on my smartphone code. I check the news and the weather apps.
Yeah.
More code. I order coffee through an app, code again.
Yeah.
And I haven't even left the house.
And it goes so much deeper than that. Think about the electrical grid powering your home, the GPS system guiding your commute, the financial networks processing your transactions. All of those things run on complex software built with millions upon millions of lines of code.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? Our sources mention how crucial code is to practically every sector of society. I mean, we're talking utilities, transportation, communication, finance, healthcare, even entertainment and culture. It's like code is the glue holding our modern world together.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And the reason for this dependence is that code provides some incredible advantages. Think about it. You want to send a message to someone on the other side of the planet. In the past, that would have taken weeks or even months. With code, it happens instantaneously. Code allows for incredible speed, efficiency, and global reach.
And the scalability. Software can handle billions of users simultaneously. It's hard to imagine achieving that kind of reach without code.
Precisely. But here's where it gets interesting. We're now witnessing the rise of a non-code world where the need for traditional programming skills is diminishing thanks to the power of artificial intelligence and intuitive interfaces.
Okay, so now this is what I've been really looking forward to unpacking. What exactly does this non-code world look like? Is this where everyone suddenly becomes a tech wizard without ever writing a line of code?
Well, not quite a wizard, but it's definitely about empowering people to create and interact with technology in entirely new ways. Imagine, for example, a bakery owner wanting to build an app for their business. Instead of learning to code, they could simply describe their needs to an AI-powered platform. I need an app that shows my daily menu, lets customers place orders, and helps me track inventory. The AI would then translate those instructions into a fully functional app.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me that AI could act like a universal translator, turning plain English into complex software? That sounds almost like science fiction.
It might have sounded like science fiction a few years ago, but it's rapidly becoming a reality. And it's actually a fascinating turning point in history, considering we spent decades making computers understand us through code. Now we're teaching AI to bridge the gap between human language and machine execution.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But it also raises some questions. If AI is building things based on our descriptions, how do we know it's actually doing what we want it to do?
That's a crucial question. And it highlights the inherent paradox of agency in a non-code world. On one hand, these tools are incredibly empowering, giving anyone the ability to create technology. But on the other hand, we risk losing some understanding of how those creations actually work. It's like driving a car without knowing anything about the engine. You can get from point A to point B, but if something goes wrong, you're completely reliant on someone else to fix it.
So it's all about finding the right balance between convenience and understanding.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of democratization of technology comes into play. Non-code platforms are breaking down the traditional barriers of needing specialized programming knowledge to create technology. It's opening up a world of possibilities for individuals, businesses, and entire communities.
It feels like this shift could have massive implications for society, almost like the invention of the printing press or the internet. But before we get at ourselves, let's break this down a bit. What are some of the core benefits of this non-code movement? I mean, apart from the bakery app example, of course.
Well, for starters, think about the speed of innovation. Non-code tools allow for rapid prototyping and experimentation. Imagine being able to test out a new business idea or a social impact project with a functional app or website within days or even hours. That's the power of non-code. It removes the technical bottleneck, allowing ideas to flow freely and evolve quickly.
So instead of spending months learning to code, people can focus on the core ideas and solutions they want to create.
Exactly. And beyond speed, there's the potential for hyper-personalization. Imagine doctors using non-code tools to build AI-powered diagnostic tools tailored to individual patients, or teachers creating personalized learning experiences that adapt in real time to each student's needs. We're talking about a world where technology becomes truly individualized, moving away from one-size-fits-all solutions.
Wow, that paints a pretty incredible picture. But before we dive into all the exciting possibilities, I think it's important to acknowledge that there are potential downsides to this non-code shift as well. We've touched on the paradox of agency, the risk of losing understanding of how things work. Are there other potential pitfalls we should be aware of?
One concern is the risk of homogenization. If a handful of companies end up controlling the AI that powers these non-code platforms, we could see a lack of diversity in solutions. It would be like if every restaurant in the world served the same menu, you might have food, but you wouldn't have much choice.
I get it. So while non-code tools make technology more accessible, there's also a risk of stifling creativity and innovation if we're not careful about who controls the underlying technology.
Precisely. And then there's the question of security and reliability. If anyone can build an app without coding, does that increase the potential for errors or vulnerabilities? It's a valid concern, and it's something we need to be mindful of as we move forward.
Okay, so it sounds like there are some real challenges to navigate alongside all the potential benefits. This non-code revolution is clearly complex with a lot to unpack, but I think it's incredibly important that we're having this conversation now as this shift is happening all around us, whether we realize it or not.
I agree. It's like we're at the beginning of a new chapter in human history, and it's crucial that we approach this transition with both enthusiasm and a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Well said. And speaking of unpacking, let's start to explore how this non-code revolution could impact specific sectors of society. We've talked about bakery apps and personalized medicine, but I'm curious to delve into the potential effects on things like business education, healthcare, and even our daily lives.
Yeah, I'm happy to dive into those areas. It's fascinating to consider how this shift might reshape the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
Let's take a closer look then.
So, picking up where we left off, let's dive into the world of business. One of the most exciting aspects of the non-code movement is its potential to level the playing field for entrepreneurs and small businesses.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. Historically, building a website or a mobile app required significant technical expertise or the budget to hire developers. That's a
Yeah.
huge barrier for a lot of people with amazing ideas but limited resources.
Absolutely. But now with the rise of non-code platforms, anyone with a good idea and a willingness to learn can bring their vision to life. These platforms are incredibly user-friendly, often featuring drag-and-drop interfaces and intuitive design tools. They make it really easy to create functional and even beautiful digital products.
So it's like giving everyone the tools to become their own tech startup in a way.
That's a great way to put it. And the implications go far beyond just launching new ventures. Existing businesses can leverage non-code tools to streamline operations, automate tasks, and even build custom solutions tailored to their specific needs, all without writing a single line of code.
Our sources mentioned a really interesting example of this. There was a small furniture company that used a no-code platform to create a virtual showroom where customers could browse and customize furniture in 3D. They saw a significant increase in sales and customer engagement because they were able to offer a truly unique and interactive experience.
That's a fantastic example of how non-code tools can empower businesses to innovate and stay ahead of the curve. And it's not just limited to retail or e-commerce. We're seeing non-code platforms being used in industries ranging from manufacturing and logistics to healthcare and education.
Speaking of education, that was another area our sources highlighted as having immense potential for disruption through the non-code movement. It's fascinating to think about how these tools could transform the way we teach and learn.
Imagine a classroom where every student has access to personalized learning experiences tailored to their individual strengths and weaknesses. Non-code platforms could empower teachers to create interactive lessons, build educational games, and design custom learning pathways that adapt in real time to each student's progress.
It sounds like we could move away from the traditional one-size-fits-all model of education towards something truly individualized and engaging. But wouldn't that require a lot of technical expertise on the part of the teachers?
That's the beauty of it. Most non-code platforms are designed with ease of use in mind. Teachers wouldn't need to become programmers to leverage these tools. They could focus on their pedagogical skills and creativity using the platforms to bring their educational visions to life.
So it's about augmenting their abilities, not replacing them with AI robots.
Exactly. The goal is to empower teachers, not to replace them. And I think that's a crucial point to remember as we navigate this non-code shift. It's about using technology to enhance human capabilities, not to eliminate the need for human skills and expertise.
I completely agree. Now let's switch gears and talk about healthcare. This is an area where I'm particularly excited about the potential of non-code tools. Our sources highlighted some incredible possibilities for personalized medicine, faster drug discovery, and even democratizing access to healthcare.
Absolutely. Imagine a world where patients could use non-code platforms to create personalized health trackers, analyze their own data, and even communicate directly with doctors through AI-powered virtual assistants. It could revolutionize the way we manage our own health and well-being.
It feels like we're moving towards a model of healthcare that is more patient-centric, where individuals have more agency and control over their own health journey.
Precisely. And it goes beyond individual empowerment. Researchers could leverage non-code tools to accelerate drug discovery, analyze massive data sets, and even create simulations to test out new treatments. It could lead to breakthroughs in medical research and a more efficient and effective healthcare system overall.
That sounds incredibly promising. But what about the potential risks? We talked about the paradox of agency and the possibility of losing understanding of how things work. How does that apply to a field as sensitive as healthcare?
That's a critical question. In any field where AI is involved, especially in healthcare, transparency and accountability are paramount. It's essential to understand how algorithms are making decisions, particularly when those decisions could impact someone's health or well-being. It's a delicate balance between harnessing the power of AI while ensuring that human oversight and ethical considerations remain central to the equation.
It seems like education and awareness will be crucial as we navigate this transition. We need to make sure people understand the potential benefits and limitations of AI-powered tools, especially in sensitive areas like healthcare.
Absolutely. And it's not just about education for users, it's also about ensuring that developers and companies building these tools prioritize ethical considerations, transparency, and user safety. It's about building a culture of responsibility around the development and deployment of AI, especially in fields that have a direct impact on human lives.
That's an important point. It seems like we've just scratched the surface of this topic. There's so much more to unpack, especially as we move from the theoretical to the practical implications of this non-code shift.
Indeed. The non-code revolution is still in its early stages, but it's already clear that it has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways. From business and education to healthcare and beyond, the possibilities are both exciting and challenging.
So we're back, and this conversation has really gotten me thinking about the ripple effects of this whole non-code movement. We've talked about business and education, healthcare, but it feels like we've only just begun to really explore the ways this shift could reshape our world.
I agree. The non-code revolution isn't just about changing the way we build software. It's about changing the way we interact with technology, the way we solve problems, and ultimately, the way we shape our future.
That brings up something I've been wondering about. We've talked about the potential downsides, like the paradox of agency, the risk of homogenization, the importance of security and ethical considerations. But what about the impact on jobs? If anyone can build an app without coding, does that mean programmers are going to become obsolete?
That's a question a lot of people are asking. And it's understandable to be concerned about the impact of automation on jobs. But I think it's important to frame this shift not as a replacement of human skills, but as an evolution of those skills.
So you're saying that programmers won't necessarily disappear, but their roles might change.
Exactly. Instead of focusing on writing lines of code, they might shift towards higher-level tasks like designing complex systems or managing AI algorithms, or ensuring the ethical development and deployment of technology. In a way, the non-code movement could free up programmers to focus on the more creative and strategic aspects of their work.
That makes sense. It's like the evolution of any profession. As tools and technologies advance, the skills required also evolve. So maybe instead of worrying about losing jobs, we should be thinking about how to adapt and acquire the new skills needed for this non-code future.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most crucial skills for this new era is going to be AI literacy. It's not just about knowing how to use AI-powered tools. It's about understanding how AI works, its limitations, and its potential impact on society. It's about being able to engage in informed conversations about the ethical and societal implications of this technology.
So it's almost like a new form of digital literacy, but with a focus on AI.
Precisely. And it's not just for programmers or tech professionals, it's for everyone. We all need to become more AI literate as this technology becomes increasingly integrated into our lives.
That makes sense. It's like learning to read and write in the age of the internet. It's a fundamental skill for navigating the modern world. But beyond AI literacy, what other skills do you think will be essential in a non-code society?
Well, I think critical thinking skills will become even more important. As we become increasingly reliant on AI-powered tools, it's crucial to be able to evaluate information, analyze data, and make informed decisions. We can't just blindly trust the output of an algorithm. We need to be able to think critically about the information we're presented with.
So it's not just about learning to use the tools, but also about developing the critical thinking skills to use them wisely.
Exactly. And I think creativity and problem-solving skills will also be highly valued. In a world where technology is constantly evolving, the ability to think outside the box, come up with innovative solutions, and adapt to new challenges will be crucial.
It sounds like this non-code shift is going to require a real shift in our education systems as well. We need to prepare future generations not just with technical skills, but with these broader critical thinking, problem solving, and creative skills as well.
I couldn't agree more. We need to rethink our approach to education and ensure that we're equipping students with the skills they need to thrive in a rapidly changing world where technology plays an increasingly central role.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like I've gained a much deeper understanding of the non-code movement, its potential benefits, and the challenges we need to be mindful of as we move forward. What's fascinating here is that we're not just talking about a technological shift, but a societal one.
It's a transformation that will touch every aspect of our lives. From the way we work and learn to the way we access healthcare and engage with the world around us, the non-code revolution is poised to reshape our society in profound ways.
And as with any revolution, it's up to us to shape its course. We need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI, the potential impact on jobs and education, and the steps we can take to ensure a just and equitable transition to a non-code future. It's about understanding that we're not just passengers on this journey. We're the drivers, and we have the power to steer this technology towards a future that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. I think that's a powerful and inspiring message to leave our listeners with.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the non-code society. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the beautiful chaos of our ever-changing world.